That was awesome. Thank you, Kim. That was an incredible piece. And thank you for those who contributed to that walk down memory lane. Do you guys remember that this place was so stressful? We created a peer counseling group for students to counsel other students who were having a hard time. That had to be unprecedented. I thought that was something very unique. But I mean, I'm serious. We had a bunch of students, carefully picked. I don't know how I got in that group, but they worked with us and kind of taught us how to be good listeners, how to show empathy, and to try to, encourage the students. And those are the types of innovative things that we got to experience while at Hume-Fogg. And now, in addition to the video remarks that we have, we're going to have some live remarks. Again, we're trying to move this program along and people have other commitments, but we're going to call Jeffrey back up to the stage to introduce one of our early faculty members. Jeffrey.
Just a few comments on the video. That was a brilliant video, and I do concur with Mr. Kaplan and Mr. Brown. That was cruel and unusual treatment. And you all did beat us down pretty badly. One other thing about Dr. Safal Smith and the women's retreat, as a lawyer, the first thing that stood out to me was a Title IX violation of gender discrimination. But nonetheless, anyway, I want to thank all my teachers here at Hume-Fogg. Ms. McKissick, Mr. Beasley, Dr. Taylor, Ms. Waxton, Ms. Bell, Mr. Brown, I'll make sure I don't forget anybody, Mr. Morlock, Ms. Murphy, Coach Travis, Ms. Noble, Mr. Kaplan. Did I say Mr. Kaplan? Okay, make sure. And hopefully I got everybody. Ms. Todd, who was here for my junior year. And, but I really have a special appreciation for Ms. Gibson, and in terms of the way she guided me and molded me. Because when I came here, I had an interest in Spanish, but it was uncultivated, so to speak. And like the rest of my classes, I was really doing the best I could just to survive. I had no idea about succeeding in anything. I'm just trying to pass. But at some point in Spanish, something clicked, and I realized that I could be pretty good at this. And Ms. Gibson was the real inspiration behind that. I mean, she took us to different cultural events and allowed us to familiarize ourselves with the Spanish culture. She took us on field trips. She took us to Spain for summers every other year. And she really encouraged us to really embrace and learn what the language was all about. And because of that, I discovered a talent and ability that I otherwise wouldn't have known I had. And I really appreciate that. And I went on to become a Spanish major in college. And I tell you, after taking the classes with Ms. Gibson, in college, Spanish was very easy. I got a major basically by sleepwalking, I really did. And a lot of the textbooks we used in college, I had seen in the first, second year. It was really easy. And I'm extraordinarily grateful for Ms. Gibson and the things she has taught us and the inspiration she was to me. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Ms. Gibson to come forward.
And it's always easy when you have people like Jeff to teach. Well, welcome back to Hume-Fogg, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you and hear of your lives. I'm most impressed with the number of graduates who've chosen to pursue service professions and those who've used the proceeds from their more lucrative professions to help others. However, let's look back at the early days from my perspective. I remember when we all took a chance on coming to the big bad downtown area, away from suburban schools, to pursue a new idea in Nashville. A magnet school for academically talented students. Under Dr. Taylor and Dr. Safell Smith's leadership, we 13 original educators believed in you and what we could achieve working together. Dr. Safell Smith used to say that we worked hard and we played hard too, and we certainly did do that. I remember the challenges of walking into this old building and given $30,000 and a coat of paint, cleaning all the chewing gum from the tunnel, not to mention the bats, took time and effort. Clearing out all the old furniture. There was even a World War II airplane engine downstairs. And a 12-foot tall stationary camera on the 4th floor. And poor Allie Sanford. Her room was full of these old computers that were as big as this screen. Not actually, but they were about half that size. So after many phone calls from Dr. Taylor to get cranes to take them out through the windows, we opened for school that fall. Parking always has and always will be a problem at Hume-Fogg. Yet we had fun. From Halloween dances in the old gyms, where the cheerleaders dressed as California raisins, to basketball games at West End Middle School. Hume-Fogg students were always creative. The original 5 starting boys basketball players blew their opponents' minds, at least, by calling plays in Spanish. And Angela Hubbard led her girls to state tournaments, the real deal. And sometimes the student body cheers needed a reminder on good sportsmanship. That's all right, that's okay. You're gonna work for us someday. Do you remember Mrs. Bell and her water squirter for the overhead projector? Many a student with an incorrect answer received a dash of water. Or hearing Mrs. Wagster's lovely laugh. Or accompanying Mr. Caplet and Mr. Brown to write at Radnor Lake, when it was usually cold in November. Or learning your Spanish or French vocab words on the Nashville buses, or your parents' car for 4 years in a row. Or camping with Mr. Brown and Mr. Beasley. Or trying to explore the tunnels under Hume-Fogg before you got caught. Or having enough handouts from history and Mrs. Robinson in later years to start a bonfire. Or appreciating the wonderful artwork, or the play or musical. Or just plain music from Hume-Fogg's fabulous art department, because J.D. always wanted 1 period a day for the arts, and we had it. Or going to JCL convention, or FADIA, where we usually took the sweepstakes trophy, or remembering Jeff Blackshear, as we all kept him calm before the National Spanish exam at Vanderbilt, because we knew he could win the nation, and he did. Yes, we have many more fond memories to share. So I've compiled a few as my top 10. Gibson's top 10. You know you're a Hume-Fogg graduate if, number 10, you can tactfully refuse a homeless panhandler on the streets who asks you for money. Number 9, you know you're a Hume-Fogg early graduate if you remember Agner's across from Hume-Fogg and their great milkshakes and burgers. Number 8, you can bound up 3 flights of double stairs in 5 minutes in order not to be late to your next class. Number 7, you can recognize Lipstick Lady on the street as another Hume-Fogg grad. Number 6, you remember the best place to eat in the arcade is the House of Pizza. Number 5, you can read a book and write a 30-page journal in under 3 hours. Number 4, you know there is not, nor has there ever been, a swimming pool at Hume-Fogg, but you enjoy telling freshmen of its existence. Number 3, you salivate at the mention of chicken on a stick. Number 2, you remember the trust that the faculty placed in you to go to TPAC, ask intelligent questions after the performance, and return on time after lunch downtown. And you did. But number 1, you remember fondly walking out of Hume-Fogg for graduation with the faculty clapping and cheering for you and your accomplishments. May you always remember this grand old lady known as Hume-Fogg, the lessons learned here about academics and life, the cherished friendships you made here, and the promises you want to keep. We, your teachers and administrators, know you will make us proud, for you already have. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Gibson. All right, we're moving along. As the evening is getting away from us. Everybody having a good time? I think it is important that we reflect on our past and reflect on the foundation upon which this school is now continuing to excel in this city and in this state and in this country. And so this is something that is absolutely important. It's very noteworthy that we recognize what the founding people did to get this school on the map. With that said, we are now going to have some remarks from the people who were here back in the day. And we wanted to cover the first 4 classes. For those of you who recall, we only began with 10th graders and freshmen, and then we just added a year afterwards, which was really cool for us as freshmen in the class of '87, because we never really had any upperclassmen to push us around. So that was always a wonderful thing. And the class of '86, they were most kind, plus we outnumbered them. So it was a great time. We really appreciated the foundation that they laid, because again, they went through everything first. So with that said, I'm going to bring up, we're going to move a little quicker, everybody. We're going to bring up, from the class of '86, you guys can come up at the same time. We're going to bring up Greg Lurie and Shane Fincher. You guys coming up? Briefly, Greg ran track. I think Shane ran track. In fact, we were on, at the time, the record-setting 2-mile relay team. Another person, Dan Warner, couldn't be here today. Greg was a National Merit Scholar athlete, and he also played tennis. He went to